Hello, and welcome to this digital version of a lunchtime lecture. My name's Daniel Crowe, and today we'll be talking about Transition, the restoration of God's House Tower. The charity I'm director of, A Space Arts, been working in Southampton for nearly 20 years to support emerging artists and local audiences. Over the years, we've taken on a number of different buildings, from empty shop units, empty railway arches, and converted them into studios or galleries, culturally reanimated these vacant and forgotten spaces. A number of these spaces have been medieval locations in and around Southampton's Old Town, including the Vaults, the Bargate Monument, and now God's House Tower. We've just released a book called Transition, the restoration of God's House Tower, which visually captures and celebrates the refurbishment process that lasted for just over a year or so. So I'm going to give you a bit of an introduction to how we got to that year, and then give you a bit more of a kind of behind the scenes experience, if you like, of what it was like to refurbish the building. Transition, the restoration of God's House Tower. The images that you can see on screen have been taken from a publication that visually captures and celebrates the refurbishment of God's House Tower. The images were taken on a daily basis over the course of about 13 months as the builders moved through the process of refurbishing God's House Tower to create a new arts and heritage venue. Capturing these images was driven by a desire to record God's House Tower during a significant period of change. As the building revealed itself, the obsession to capture this 700-year-old monument in transition grew. At an early point in the refurbishment process, on a Saturday afternoon, I spent a few hours photographing God's House Tower and came across a collection of tools left lying around by the builders. Their accidental compositions of spades left propped against old stone walls and a pneumatic drill left rammed into a concrete floor created images that talked to the process that was now underway. These early images fueled a desire to visually document the conversion of this ancient monument and record the process of it beginning the next stage of its life. The decision to instigate the God's House Tower project wasn't made lightly and was a journey that began back in 2012 with a number of honest conversations. As an organisation, we were looking for a new project to grow our arts and heritage offer, and coincidentally, as we moved out of the Bargate Monument Gallery, the City Council were also moving out of God's House Tower. We saw the opportunity. A huge part of the process was raising the funding to support the project. It took the best part of 5 years, and we're hugely grateful to all the partners who have supported us. Work began on site in July 2018 with the strip out, a genuinely fascinating period where layers of modern intervention, as in post-1960, were removed. Breeze block walls, red brick walls, old toilets, huge lengths of electrical cabling and what felt like miles and miles of old pipe. At this point, my artist hoarding gene kicked in, and I'd find myself rummaging through the skip every day for materials that spoke of the building's past. Selective hoarding continued throughout the project and resulted in a resource of materials that artists now repurpose to create new works from the old building. Momentum shifted and work began to break out 1960s concrete from a few selected places that we had permission. A diamond-tipped water-cooled core drill cut out perfect concrete columns. Of course, these were kept. Running consecutively, excavations began to create the new build element of the project, the extension. A fascinating moment came when the discovery of the former prison toilets was made. A large stone slab with 4 holes cut in it sits below where our new extension is, and a plaque now marks its location. Over the following months, the new build rose from the ground before being topped with a large glass roof. The extension now houses a cafe, a community arts and heritage library, and modern flushing toilets. As we moved into 2019, the tide began to turn and things began to come in. The first new pipes and cables were installed, the majority of which are buried underground and out of sight. Roof lights went into the contemporary gallery space. Rooms slowly began to take shape, and gradually a glimpse of the end vision began to appear, albeit through scaffolding. A key feature of the completed project is the reinstated south opening. Creating this major architectural intervention was a genuine journey of discovery. Dr. Andy Russell, the city's head of ancient monuments, identified the precise location of the former doorway from reviewing old photos and deducing that some of the stones remained in place, marking the outer edges of the original door. Dr. Russell then drew a chalk line to indicate what area of stone could be removed, and the first few stones were carefully taken out. As the process progressed, a chute was discovered connecting the top of the door to the upper levels of the building. A surprise discovery, and one that informs us of the monument's former life. In Dr. Russell's own words, the discovery has given us important new clues as to how the building was adapted over the years, from a fortress to a prison and then to a warehouse. The door was cut through the wall in the second half of the 19th century, when the building was rented by Southampton Harbour Board and used to store things from their ships. We think the door was made wide enough so that horse and carts could reverse into the building and items could be offloaded and maybe hoisted up into the building. Whilst the discovery of the chute and the prison toilets were unexpected and admittedly delayed the project, they enriched the process and increased the sense of wonder we have for the building. The architect's brief was in part to make the stones the stars and expose as much of the building as possible. We're really pleased with the outcome and feel the architects really delivered on their brief. To complement the architectural design and the existing nature of the monument, a limited palette of colours and materials was introduced. Tones of grey, concrete, glass and oak allow the eye to be drawn to the stones that have also been very well lit, making them the stars. The builders finished on August 29th, 2019, and we began fitting out the building, installing the inaugural exhibitions and running a series of test events before formally opening the doors and welcoming the public back in on October the 19th, 2019. As I said to the builders all along, the project starts when you finish. Refurbishing God's House Tower was never the final project. Of course, it's been a crucial part of the project and has been a joy to work on. But bringing the building back to life with arts that celebrate its heritage and filling it with people who can once again enjoy the building has always been the real project. I really hope you enjoy your new God's House Tower, and please come down and see us soon. Thank you very much.